Happy Saturday, everybody. This is Sarah Outlaw from Natural Health Improvement Center of South Jersey and Natural Health Improvement Center of Des Moines. I want to talk to you today about headaches. I am someone who has suffered from very severe migraines to the point where I would lose a whole day of my life very frequently. So I know headaches. My headaches were always on this side of my head. On the left side, so I would get vertigo and then not be able to get out of bed. So headaches are something that I had been suffering for a real long time, and I do occasionally get one here and there, but I know it causes them. So I'm going to talk to you a little about some headache and migraine triggers that you might want to know to eliminate your headaches for good. One of the main triggers for headaches is food sensitivities. This is something that you really need to understand, is that food sensitivities are the #1 cause of headaches and migraines, and it has been proven with studies starting way back in 1979. In 1979, there was a study that showed that 100% of food sensitivities, or 100% of patients who were studied at that point were reacting to a certain food, and when they reduced those foods from their diets, 85% of them had complete relief, but 100% of them received some relief. So it was a really big groundbreaking study in 1979, and they repeated that study again. They repeated it in 2010, 2007, 2008, 1983. So all of these testings were repeated and had very similar results. They think that at least up to 80 to 95% of headaches are caused by a food sensitivity, and I would actually say 95 to 98% of headaches are caused by food sensitivity. The main food culprits for headaches are sugar. Sugar causes instant inflammation. As soon as you put a grain of sugar on your tongue tastes the sweetness, your brain swells, your joints swell, your pancreas swells, and everything is inflamed. So it's common knowledge that inflammation can cause some pressure on the brain, some swelling, and that is what we're seeing with headaches. We are also seeing wheat causing some issues with headaches, grains, also inflammation, dairy because it turns the sugar in the body, again, another source of inflammation. Another thing that is causing headaches are foods that have what's called CGRP, which is calcitonin, gene-related peptides. There are some studies about that say that these CGRP substances do cause some headaches in people. Tannins, sometimes some foods that people most commonly react to have tannins in them, like red wine. People will say, I can have white wine, that's fine, but red wine gives me a headache, and that's because it's very high in tannins to the point where it actually causes some problems in the body. Pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, those types of things are going to cause some headaches in people. Caffeine, although it can help relieve a headache, can also be a key factor in causing headaches because of the brain constricting and the blood vessel constricting that occurs. Also, food allergens increase traffic of what's called the IgE antibodies in the body. So we are also seeing some people who have very severe allergy attack type things in their heads. It's caused by this IgE antibody issue. And if you reduce the foods that are causing the inflammation, then we can significantly reduce those allergens in the body. Dried fruits are another culprit, the sulfur in the dried fruits. Dairy, like I said, eggs, soy. There are also a lot of other things. Gluten, we talked about that. Peanuts. Genetically modified organisms may cause headaches because the body are not recognizing them as food. And then we talked about the dairy. So there's a lot of different food issues. We test for all these things in our practice. We're testing for all the common food sensitivities. We test for all the grains. We test for all types of sugars. We test for all dairy, eggs. We also test for proteins and issues and other foods like that. So we're looking very broad spectrum wise. Another reason why someone might be having headaches is hormones, especially in women. We see a lot of headaches that occur right before the period or during the period as the hormones fluctuate. We know then there is a definite hormone imbalance that can be exacerbated by people going on things like binges during PMS, by eating chocolate or sugar, because chocolate can be a trigger as well. So we know for a fact that if we go ahead and remove those things from the diet, we're going to lessen that effect. And we also check hormones when we're doing our testing by just checking the endocrine organs themselves with the nutrition response testing that we do. And then we're able to determine if you need something like simplex from standard process, or you need something for your hypothalamus, or you need something for your adrenals. When we are able to actually regulate out your own hormones naturally, then those headaches are greatly reduced or completely eliminated. We have had such great success with helping people with migraines, including myself, and not having these days where we're losing whole days of our lives. There are supplements that we can use to reduce inflammation as well. We have things from standard process that we use mostly, Cyruta Plus. We use magnesium. A lot of times people are very deficient in magnesium, and that's why they are having some issues with their head, having the pain. And if we give you magnesium, then the inflammation is reduced and you feel much better. So at the onset of a headache, I always tell people, go ahead and take some magnesium, and that can help alleviate that pain almost immediately. There's other herbs that we will use, like ginger and those types of things. We just test around and see. I like it when people come in the office. I know it's hard to come in here when you have a migraine because you don't feel like getting out of bed, but if you can come and get seen in the middle of a migraine, then I can see exactly what your body needs at that very time, and then we can kind of put together a proactive type of protocol for you when you have some issues. Feverfew is also another really wonderful herb for migraine sufferers. You can have it in a tea or a tincture form. It is a little bit bitter, so I usually have mix it with things like catnip and skullcap and some mints to help relieve that issue. Essential oils work really well for headaches as well. If you're in the middle of one, the peppermint oil, make sure you use a carrier oil of some kind. So I suggest that you don't put peppermint directly on your temples. I've had people who have burn their eyes, and they have burning issues with that, so that's not a smart thing to do. Go ahead and put it in with a carrier oil, and a carrier oil is something like olive oil or almond oil or olive oil or coconut oil, one of those oils, to mix it in. And you can just Google the ratios because you don't need me for that. So, and there are some that already are pre-blended. We use doTERRA in our office. We love doTERRA. If you want to order directly from us, it's www.mydoterra.com/90210 Organics, because that's my other company, and we are able to get you those oils as well, or you can come in the office and get them. So just to recap, migraines are almost 100% food related. We talked about the percentages in the beginning. You can look that up as well. There's some really good websites that talk about the different foods and all of that. When we test you for food sensitivities, we know specifically what you're reacting to, so we can give you a protocol that's directly specific for you in helping your headaches. And the number 2 issue is hormone issues, and we can help with that as well. So you don't have to suffer, you guys, with these headaches. I did for, oh my gosh, for so long, and I would lose days in my life, and I can't afford to lose days in my life. And I also can't afford to be taking, ibuprofen, because that has so many side effects that you don't even know about with your organs, and it's causing all sorts of problems with digestion and autoimmune issues. So you want to try to stay away from those things and use them only for emergency purposes if you just can't get through your day. And then just use the natural products as long as you can, like the magnesiums, like the Cyruta, and the things that we talked about as far as the herbals. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to make an appointment, if you are a migraine sufferer or someone you know is, then please call us, please email us. We can help you. Do not suffer any longer. There's no need to. We have 2 locations in 2 states, Cherryville, New Jersey, and Des Moines, Iowa. Feel free to come to either one of those. If I'm not in your area, then look up the Eula Nutritional Systems website, the Find a Clinician link, and find a clinician near you. If you are near me, Cherry Hill, info@nhicdsouthjersey.com, or Des Moines, info@nhicddesmoines.com. Find us, make an appointment, and we will be happy to help you. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Make somebody smile today, and I hope your heads feel better.